And welcome. We're starting. This is health class number 16, and today is January 16th. It's 1:16:11. Okay, homework for this week. I told you one yesterday is number 1 to read the health nugget on bread, but also I want you to read the health nugget on sunshine/vitamin D. And if you go to the website, the number 3, angelshistoric.com, when you get to the website, you'll see where it says health. Click health, and it's the second one, I believe. It'll say vitamin D/sunshine or sunshine/vitamin D. Okay, some things to share before we get started. In Counsels on Diets and Foods, we were talking, I believe it was last week, about appropriate times for eating. I wanted to share with you what Sister White, what time they ate in the day. Okay, so this is number 20 on page 490 of Counsels on Diets and Foods. This is paragraph 4 and 5, paragraphs 4 and 5. She says, in our family, we have breakfast at 6:30 o'clock. What time is that? 6:30. And dinner at 1:30. We have no supper. We would change our times of eating a little, no more than 30 minutes, either or, before or after. We have no supper. We would change our times of eating a little were it not for the fact that these are the most convenient hours for some of the members of the family. So that's why probably the earlier. She probably would do it a little later, but you probably had people, in the family that it wasn't convenient. So they did it for the convenience. I eat but 2 meals a day and still follow the light given me 35 years ago. I use no meat. As for myself, I have settled the butter question. So she said as for herself, she had settled the butter question. I do not use it. This question should easily be settled in every place where the purest article cannot be obtained. We have 2 good milch cows, a Jersey and a Holstein. We use cream and are satisfied with this. So she was still using cream at that time, but she'd given up the butter. So the light was progressive. But there are people in Adventism who are saying that Sister White was not a product of health. She did not practice what she preached. Sister White herself says she practiced what she preached. But we have to remember, for many years she ate poorly. Consequences follow. God forgives us, but consequences still follow. And we're going to learn. She got cancer. She had all kinds of, she had a stroke. Did you guys know Sister White had a stroke? Did you know she had cancer? She had yes, I read it the other day. She had cancer. I think it was a tumor. She had a tumor. I'm not sure. I think it was on her face, if I remember correctly. But she had cancer. That's why she drank red clover tea. She had a stroke. She was paralyzed on one side of her body. And I was shocked. The prophet of the Lord, yes. But we also have to remember, Satan, she said, was striking her with many diseases. Because why was he attacking her? She was a prophet of the Lord, right? And then, another thing, did you know that the prophet of the Lord, she prayed to God and she said, Lord, every time I get puffed up, afflict me with my disease? Do you know she got afflicted a lot? Which means she's human. Which means she had the tendency to be puffed up because the Lord was using her. But her sickness humbled her. Understand? So there's people who say she was not the product of health. Sister White, she lived to be almost 90. Right? She lived to be in her 80s. So in those days, that was good. You get what I'm saying? But there's people who are saying she didn't live what she preached. I had just read the times that they ate breakfast, 6:30 in the morning, and 1:30 they ate their supper, or their next meal. She said they ate it that early because it was more convenient for some of the family members. You know, people have to go to work and stuff like that. But she said she had not eaten meat for 35 years. She wasn't eating butter. And it was progressive to her. But there are people who say, oh, Sister White, she didn't live to what she preached. Yes, she did. She did. Okay. According to the ACS, which is the American Cancer Society, there is a 41% probability that an individual, male or female, will develop cancer in his or her lifetime and die from it, and or die from it. So 41%, that's close to what? Not far from 50. So let's say 4 out of every 10 people. All right? From the Cancer Project by Dr. Neil Bernard, we are told the following. The National Cancer Institute has found that 80% of cancers are due to identifiable factors that can be controlled. 80%. Okay? From the Cancer Project, I just read that. Most diseases are caused by insufficient levels of what did we say in the body yesterday? Well, the number one of the 5 needs of a cell. Insufficient oxygen in the body. In fact, studies show that if you deprive a cell of 35% of the required levels of oxygen, the cell is likely to become cancerous. All it needs is 35% deprivation for it to become cancer. Now, a few more things here. Studies show that if you are angry for 5 minutes, is that a long time? On average. For your average person in America today, is 5 minutes a long time? If you are angry for 5 minutes, your immune system can be suppressed for 5 hours. For every 5 minutes you're angry, your immune system is suppressed for 5 hours. So if you're angry, what do you need to do? Get on your knees and pray. That's right. 5 hours. That's amazing, isn't it? Some people are angry for years. Okay? One bitter thought changes the blood chemistry from alkali to acidic. One bitter thought. An unhealthy body equals an acidic body. Now, the pH, they say the normal pH of the body should be 7.35 to 7.45. The higher you are, the more alkaline. I always get this backwards. And the lower you are, I believe it's more acidic you are. Sometimes they lower this a little bit. They higher this a little bit. But here's the thing. A lot of people focus on the pH of the body. Should we be focusing on this? We should be focusing on the loss of health. That's right. Because when we focus on, we shouldn't take just carrot juicing, let's just focus on this, or let's just focus on the pH of the body. We have to look at it as the whole picture. If we do that, then the pH of the body will be taken care of. Because I have people have asked me during this seminar, or this classes, how come you're not talking about the pH of the body? In due time, we'll cover it a little bit. We don't need to cover it a lot. Why is that? Because if we follow all the laws of health that we've been discussing, you will have a normal pH of the body. Is that understandable? Okay. Okay. Uh-oh, sorry about that. I'll put it in my pocket. Okay, remember we were talking about chewing? I came across one of my notes. I have a stack of cards that I write notes when I hear stuff. And I went through it. Holy Spirit said, go through your notes. I was excited I did. Remember we were talking about the importance of chewing? Did you know that the more you chew, that your white blood cell count production will increase? The more you chew, your white blood cell production will increase. No, we talked about chewing gum last week. Chewing gum is right, your meals. The more you chew, your meals. Right, we talked about chewing gum. Are we supposed to eat one morsel between meals? No. Okay. Okay, we're told in case of sickness, so we're talking about cancer. This is part 2, America's death warrant, because that is the death warrant in America. Somebody mentioned AIDS yesterday. AIDS is not as prevalent as cancer. AIDS is not even on the list of the top 4 diseases that is killing people in the United States. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained, unhealthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected, then nature's to be assisted in her efforts to expel impurities and to reestablish right conditions in the system. So we're going to be going through each step. So number 1 is what? Ascertain the cause. Now, how are we going to do this? We are going to, very excitingly, I'm excited about it, we're going to be self-assessing ourselves next week. We're going to do a self-assessment, and we're going to be ascertaining the cause. So what we're going to do is through this assessment, now we're going to be more strict on ourselves than the people of the world. We're not going to come at them with the dress reform. We'll leave those in the very end. We'll do the basic laws of health first. But if we see that they're always wearing short sleeves and their arms are cold with red dots and they've got circulation problems, then you could talk to them about the dress. But we have to be careful not giving them so much at one time. But we want to address them, so ascertaining the cause. So next week, we will be going through the lifestyle assessment form. For us, it's going to be detailed. It's going to be like you're being hospitalized and they're admitting you, okay? And all the questions are going to be asked and we're going to be filling it out. And I'm going to be explaining as we fill it out what it means. So you'll know whether this is something you should check off or not. If you're doing it and you're not supposed to be, or you're not doing it and you're supposed to be, you're going to red mark check. And I'm going to bring red pens. And if you have some, bring some, because I don't have one for everyone. If you have a red pen, try to bring it. But that's what we'll be doing next week. So we'll be ascertaining the cause. Okay, number 2. What's number 2? Oh, before we go on to number 2, remember we talked about the 5 needs of the cell? This is also ascertaining the cause. Number 1 is oxygen. Number 2 is water. But remember, these are the laws of health. Oxygen is air. Water is what? It's our water, right? What we teach. Nutrients, that would be under nutrition. Waste elimination. Okay? So you want to question them. How many bowel movements do you have a day? That'll be on the assessment form. How often do you have a bowel movement a day? Oh, I have one twice a week. You know there's a problem. Okay? And then all poisons kept out. Remember we learned what is true temperance? That's right. Abstaining from all things that are harmful and being moderate in that which is good. So this would fall under temperance. All poisons kept out. Is it important to read labels? Absolutely. Why? Because how are you going to know what the poison is? And just because it says pea protein, let me tell you something. Pea protein is MSG. It's pea powder mixed with MSG. So don't think, if you see pea and the word protein added, chances are it's not good for you. If there's peas, it should just say peas. If it's protein, they've chemically done something to it. Yes, pea protein. There's something called pea protein that's an ingredient in a lot of items. And when people see it, they think, oh, it's peas. It's good. PEA, protein. Oh, no, pea. I'm sorry, PEA, for the peas, the green peas. Protein. If it's peas, it should just say peas. What is the pea protein? That means they've done something to it and chemically altered it. That's why it's important. And there's a link. You can go on YouTube or Google 25 hidden names of MSG, and you'll find actually there's more. And then it'll also give you a list of a lot of foods where they'll have a name of the food, but in that food, MSG is mixed in there. Okay, so number 1 is ascertain the cause, so we want to assess the 5 needs of the cell. Number 2 is water. We know what to do with this. Number 2 is unhealthful conditions should be changed, so this would be turning off the faucet, right?